Hey guys, and welcome back to Art a la Carte. Well, I'm back from my very first Comic-Con Artist Alley experience, and I wanted to show you some of the highlights and sights and sounds that I saw, and also go over kind of some of the thoughts that I had looking back on it, what things I want to change about my experience for next time, because definitely I think I really am enjoying the Artist Alley and going to conventions. I think I want to pursue doing more of them in the future in different areas. So first, let me show you some clips of the process of getting there, setting up, and kind of the sights and sounds around Comic-Con. So I'm at the Eugene City Comic-Con, and I just finished setting up my booth, and there's just a few last minute things I need to do before the Comic-Con starts. But I'm super excited! I've gone to actually 3 different kind of Comic-Con anime conventions. One was, goodness, 25 years ago. I went to BakaCon up in Seattle. And then last year went to the Eugene Comic-Con for the first time, and that was my first Comic-Con experience. And then a few months ago went to the Rose City Comic-Con. And still, just seeing the amount of things to look at is mind-boggling. I heard this from a lot of people who this was their first time at a Comic-Con convention. It's just kind of overwhelming. There's so much to look at. So I really recommend taking a tour around the entire convention, seeing everything that vendors and artists have to sell, and then the things that stick into your mind the most, then going back to that booth and making your purchases. If you're in the market for cute or unusual things, you will find no end to all the treasures that you can possibly find, whether they are from the merchants aisles or those one-of-a-kind treasures that you can only find in Artist Alley. Another thing I highly recommend is taking time to talk to the artists in the Artist Alley. We love chatting with people and make a conversation and ask us questions or just engage us, because it's a long hours sitting there, and so any kind of conversation is welcome. And I'm saying this as a very introverted person. I loved it when people came and talked to me. Also, make sure to ask for business cards. Now, sometimes when I get the business cards, I won't remember what artist or art style went with that business card. So ask if you can take a photograph of their business card and their booth together. That way you kind of remember who was who. Now, if you're like me and you don't have a lot of space on your wall for art, I highly recommend asking if they have small or mini prints, like the 5x7s are perfect to go and stick on walls, but those posters are pretty cool, and a lot of times you can snag some pretty awesome deals. I know a lot of the artist vendors were doing deals where you buy 2 and you get 1 free. What I love about the Artist Alley is usually I always end up meeting a new artist I'd never known about, or even finding out about an art style that I'd never heard about.
It's called pointillism.
And how do you create your art?
It is creating an image using nothing but tiny dots. Right here I'm working on a piece, and I'll just use a little Copic pen and create an image by using little tiny dots like this.
Insane. How long does it take you to do a piece?
Anywhere from a few weeks to a few months, depending on the piece.
Now, whether you're into cosplay or cosplay watching, Comic-Con is a great place for that. Make sure to take your camera, and most cosplayers love it when people ask for pictures, so don't be afraid or shy to ask for photos, and some of them will really ham it up for you. So now let me talk about some ideas and tips that I have if you are wanting to do a first-time Artist Alley. First, search on social media sites for Artist Alley groups. They can give you a lot of good suggestions about what conventions are good and what conventions maybe to stay clear from, which conventions are good for first-timers. Know that if you want to do an Artist Alley, you're going to have to plan about a year in advance. Artist Alley tables generally go really fast, so I started planning for this convention right after the Eugene Comic-Con last year, filled out my application, and got that in. So you have to be kind of quick about it and really pre-plan, which can be challenging for some of us. Really make sure to read the rules and regulations to make sure that you're complying with everything, because you don't want to get in trouble by the Comic-Con police. For my table display, what I ended up doing was doing a mock setup at home. So I found a table that was the same size, I put up my booth, and got a general feel of where I wanted to place my merchandise. But also remember to be flexible. The way I set my table up the very first day was not the way that it was set up the second day. I really observed how people came by and looked at the artwork and kind of figured some things that I could do better and how to showcase my art better and how to correctly inform people what you were offering. Make sure that everything is set up so that if it gets bumped or pushed that it doesn't fall over. I had a couple of my display parts that kept wanting to jump out at people if they touched it. You don't want to have anything on your table that's going to fall over or spill when someone touches it, because it can really embarrass people that are touching it, and then they're not going to want to buy from you. A big bonus is to get to know and make friends with your table mates. So the people on either side of me were really awesome. I had a great time getting to know them, and they had some amazing artwork. I found that the artists in the Artist Alley were super friendly and were always willing to share their information and insight and years of experience. Make sure to also take care of yourself during the Artist Alley, whether it's a 2-day, 1-day, or like I was at, a 3-day event. You're going to want to make sure that you drink plenty of water and always have some good protein kind of snacks. If you can, bring along a buddy that can sit with you. That way they can give you breaks so you can run to the restroom or get some food or look at some of the really cool stuff around the convention. My top favorite things at the Comic-Con were obviously the Copic room, which I didn't buy as many markers as I did last year, but I did buy a few refills and, okay, a couple markers. I also found some amazing treasures. So if you have any questions about setting up a table or being in an artist alley or going to a convention, make sure to put those in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer as many as I possibly can if I know the answer. And if I don't know the answer, I'm sure someone in the comment section will know the answer and they'll answer the question. We'll all answer questions. We love answering questions. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and especially thank you to those who stopped by my booth at the convention. It was really nice to get to meet you face to face. If you're brand new to this channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any future videos. And as always, thanks for watching, and until next time, God bless you guys, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye!